Gentleman from California, Mr. Swalwell, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Dr. Holdren. And Dr. Holdren, I have to say I'm disappointed that many of my colleagues across the aisle have used this hearing titled Key Issues for the President's Fiscal Year 2015 Research and Development Budget to relitigate whether climate change is happening and whether it's man-made. And at this rate, frankly, I have to say you should be prepared to address whether the Earth is round or flat. That might come up, or whether indeed gravity is happening. You never know what could fly at you from what we've seen already. And I have to say that with 97% of the scientists stating, and as you pointed out, that that is an approximation based on statistics, that climate change is man-made, I am encouraged to see that some of my colleagues across the aisle have been a voice for the minority 3% scientists today. This is encouraging for other minorities that my colleagues across the aisle have not helped out, including immigrants who are waiting for comprehensive immigration reform, minorities like women who have not received equal pay for equal work, minorities who are affected by the Voting Rights Act where action has not taken, as well as gay and lesbian minorities who have been oppressed by some of the policies that my colleagues across the aisle have put in place. So the colleagues who are standing up for the 3% scientists who do not believe in climate change, I'm encouraged that they are now a voice for the minority. But you are here to discuss the President's fiscal year 2015 budget, and I have a question first about the National Ignition Facility, which is in my district in Livermore, California. And I want to know, in light of the recent alpha heating phenomenon that occurred there, do you still believe that that fusion project is near the goal line and that ignition is near achievement, and what that means for future rounds of funding?
Well, first of all, I applaud the advances that have been made at NIF over the past year. I think they are important. I think it's still quite some distance from the finish line when you look at the energetics every step of the way. There's considerably more progress that needs to be made before we can say we actually have ignition, and there would be more progress beyond that that would be needed to convert that achievement into a workable fusion reactor. But the project is well worth pursuing. The $329 million in the budget for pursuing it should enable a good deal of further progress, and I look forward to seeing that.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about the inertial fusion research that is in the budget, and particularly that the National Ignition Facility and the Z-Pulsed Power Facility have enough technical promise to justify dedicated Federal support for inertial fusion R&D relevant to energy, not just weapons reliability, as Ms. Lofgren pointed out. However, there is currently no program in the Federal Government which directly officially supports inertial fusion research and technology development's activity for energy production purposes. Rather, the Administration is proposing to eliminate all of the activities in the Fusion Energy Sciences Program that could make important contributions to fusion research, including an experiment at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory that is only beginning to operate this year. So my question is, do you believe that the Department should address the findings of this National Academy's report, which found that these concepts have technical promise, and at least find a way to allow strong, merit-reviewed proposals for inertial fusion energy research to be eligible for Federal support?
Let me make a couple of quick comments. We, of course, are aware of the National Academy's report. We recognize the progress that's been made in inertial confinement fusion in a number of different ways, with the lasers, with pulse power, with ion beams. Those approaches, of course, have not yet demonstrated the level of performance that would be needed to convert them into an energy source. They are, in fact, still well short of the performance of the magnetic confinement approach, which is being pursued in parallel. Under the budget restraints we face, we think the most important thing to continue funding in the inertial confinement space is the NIF and its progression toward ignition. The experiment you mentioned at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab is a small one, completed at a cost of about $11 million. It began operating 2 years ago, but it's fallen far short of its design specifications, and so it's hard to keep it near the top of the priority list given the tight budget and the performance shortfalls in that particular device.
Thank you, Dr. Holdren. Thank you for your service to our country, for your belief in science, and for now knowing what to be better prepared to discuss next time you come back, including whether gravity is really occurring and whether our Earth is flat or round. Thank you, and I yield back.